Chapter 6, Rescue. I wasn't just going to be sick, I was sick. Throwing up isn't pretty, but that wasn't all. As I wiped my mouth on my sleeve, I felt something sticky and wet. I touched it with my finger and then held it up to the moonlight. Blood. I was sure it was blood, Tony's blood. I yanked off my sweatshirt and threw it down, and didn't look at the dead man again. In books and movies, it's fun when something like this happens. It's not so fun when it happens in real life. I have to tell you, I was scared. I pulled out the plank and propped it back up again. Then I pushed and pulled myself up, trying not to cry out when I jabbed my foot. I didn't care if there was a ghoul sitting there waiting for me. I was getting out of this hole. I was just getting away from this dead body. For once, I wanted to be home and in bed. I crawled over the top and dragged myself to the trees a few meters away. Then I sat with my back against a pine and tried to figure out what to do. Maybe I could hop to the front gate, but I was lost and didn't know my way back. Maybe I'd have to stay here until someone showed up for work in the morning. I didn't want to stay in this place one more nanosecond, but maybe I didn't have a choice. And then I heard something. I froze. My heart started to pound. Not again, I thought. Nothing more. Please, 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 I begged silently. Sam? Sam, are you there? It was Simon. Simon, I shouted. Over here, help! Simon rushed over to me. What happened to you? Where have you been? Where have I been? Where have you been? I shot back at him. I needed you, buddy. Where were you? I was running from the dog, and I thought you were right behind me. When I looked back, you weren't there. I hid behind some bushes on the lookout for you. Then I saw Fatso and his friends. You saw those guys? What were they doing? I asked. One of them was dressed up in a lame costume, Simon said. A giant monster dripping blood. Real stupid. But then the others helped him get up on some stilts, and off he went, back the way he had come. Did you see him? Yeah, I saw him, I mumbled. So maybe I was dumb to be so scared, but no way I'd admit that. Real lame, I said. Didn't fool me, I lied. Simon nodded. So I followed those guys for a while. Then I stepped on something. Simon held up a small recorder. Listen, he said. He pressed the on button, and suddenly a dog was barking like crazy. It was them, I sighed. The recorder was the dog. Yeah, said Simon. They chased us through the graveyard, blasting this tape. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, they really did scare us, didn't they? He started to laugh. I nodded, but I didn't laugh quite so hard. Well, I followed the guys a bit more. I guess they'd lost both of us, so they left the graveyard. I saw them hop a fence. Then I went back and looked for you. But I got lost, and well, sorry it took me so long. So then I told Simon what had happened to me. I fudged the first a bit. No need for Simon to know. I just about peed my pants when I saw the ghoul. But I didn't leave anything out about the grave. And when I was finished, Simon just sat there, staring at me. Wow, he whispered. Wow. What are we going to do? I asked. We have to go to the police, Simon replied. That body, you must have seen a mob hit or something. I'd seen The Godfather. I knew what happened to people who ran into the mob. What if we have to go into hiding? I asked. What if we have to leave home and change our names? What if we never get to talk to our families again? What if we can't even talk to each other? Simon sat thinking. I knew he was thinking hard because he has this thing he does when he thinks. He closed his eyes and screwed up his face. Then he burst out, Sam, you didn't see the hit. You didn't see who did it. You just had a body thrown on top of you. We can go to the police and tell them to look in the grave. You're not a witness to anything. You're right. I didn't even have to tell them. I looked at the body. I can say it was covered with the tarp. And I don't have to tell them his name was Tony. They can figure all that out for themselves. Simon pulled me up and helped me hobble to the front gate. But then I had a brainstorm. Simon, I don't have to say anything. They're going to bury some guy tomorrow. They're going to find the body then. They don't need to know I was there. Simon thought for a bit. Once again, he closed his eyes and screwed up his face. I think you're right, he said at last. This could get you in a lot of trouble. So Simon and I made it back to my house. We snuck in my back door and then went down to the basement to sleep. I breathed a sigh of relief. I was home, safe and sound. I thought.